Yes, Anthony.
You paint a vivid picture of fire research.
Yes.
On the section
Current fire research.
Yes, I'm sorry. Thinking back, my impression was that from time to time, in some part of the world, there would be more activity, more initiative, Japanese work, Scandinavian work,
Yes.
and so on.
Yes.
Do you see signs in the USA of the stimulus of 2001 having had an effect on fire research there?
Well, I would ask my colleagues to answer that, really, because I've been retired for 5 years, but I think that answer has been no. But somebody may disagree with me there. Certainly, shortly after that 2001 document, there was the World Trade Center collapse, and a lot of effort has been focused, obviously, on solving that problem. But as far as I know, I don't think there is. No. I mean, if anywhere, it's in China where there is a lot more research going on. But I think that, do you want to comment, please?
Well, I'm kind of semi-politically, but I did an analysis of the inquiries after the sinking of the Titanic, I actually mentioned in my talk, and why they didn't catch on to the steel problem. In other words, why people, all of the post-disaster inquiries were designed to confirm that there was nothing fundamentally wrong. And I've drawn that exact analogy to the World Trade Center investigation. That is that the political pressure to find that, yes, it's all terrorism, but there's nothing fundamentally wrong with the way we build buildings. And they just actually managed to power through the decision that you actually had to count the fire department coming up the stairways when you did the exit calculations of people going out. And that was viewed as a staggering breakthrough, and over the objections of all kinds of people. And so the desire, I mean, it's almost the same mind here. They're fat, dumb, and happy with what they have, and we just want to rock the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but you know, there are these research agendas that have been agreed by everybody, and I don't think they're being pursued in the United States either. But in a way, they've got a kind of excuse that the rest of us don't have, but I'm not sure it's adequate. And others think, obviously, the way they're going about that is not very good.
There's a need for a political will.
Yes.
It just doesn't exist.
Michael, if I look at follow up question to you on that, which is why the engineering profession, unlike other areas, because I work in a number of areas, the engineering profession is not demanding better research and more research on the undetermined areas. And that's the one area in fighter that's much worse than, let's say, in biomedical engineering or other areas where they A, fund it, and B, demand that it get done.
It's one thing to demand the research, isn't it? It's another to get it funded, and I think that's the problem. I think that they are demanding the research to be done, but there is not the political will to, or the funding from private industry to deliver on that.
I think the privatisation of the research organisations also makes that more difficult.
Yes.
You might have one time gone to the minister and say it's a really important subject.
Yeah.
Get FRS to do something.
Exactly.
That's no longer so easy.
Yeah, so maybe the privatisation of the banks might make people realise that maybe they've got to do a bit of rethinking here. I'm trying to be optimistic.
Can I?
All those questions at the back?
Yes, you're speaking earlier, Geoff, about the fact that there's a bit of misuse of some of the modelling, particularly CFD modelling.
Yes.
Do you think actually a way of actually trying to prevent this would be the doing away of free access to some of the models that are around? Because from what I've seen, the increase can be directly correlated to the freely accessibility of, let's face it, one particular model.
I don't really think that. I mean, obviously that makes it much more widely used and perhaps by people who perhaps don't know what they're doing. But I don't think that's of the essence, really. I think there should be more guidance published on how to use the thing properly, more training exercises. Clearly, there is a big difference between that particular code and the rest of them, and therefore it has spread very widely. And that's had a lot of implication. But there is guidance on the older Reynolds average type codes, but I don't think there's anything on that code at all. I know there's a new SFP chapter which discusses that particular model, but I don't think there's any guidance on misuse as far as I'm aware, not in the drafts I see.
This, of course, raises the issue of having properly trained fire safety engineers who understand how the models work and have a feel for the results they might get from them, and will immediately recognise when there's something amiss.
I mean, there are elementary things you say. I've seen hot gases coming out the bottom of doorways that people produce. I mean, anybody could be there and correct. But there is a mindset that thinks, well, if it comes out of a computer, it must be right, and that's dangerous.
Well, the time is rolling on. I think it's time to break. Before we do actually break, first of all, I'd like to thank you very much indeed for a most interesting talk.
Thank you.
My great pleasure to present you with the very first Philip Holmes medal.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Lou. Thank you.